Okay, so hear me out. What if Pokemon actually introduces the concept of serialized cards? Like actual numbered cards, like 1 out of 500. Something so limited, something that Pokemon has not done, but other trading card games have done it before. So I noticed that Magic has been doing the serialized concept for their last few sets. However, their most recent set with Final Fantasy, it really took off. So in that set, there's a chocobo. It's pretty much a golden bird, but there's only 77 of them. And if you were to be able to pull one of those, each one is currently going for around $40,000, which is absolutely insane. The price for a sealed collector booster box for retail was $450, and they're upwards of $1,200 right now. So I'm just thinking, what is stopping Pokemon from trying to adapt this concept and doing something similar along those lines? With modern sets now being more collectible than ever, with vintage kind of phasing out and modern introducing the concept of alternate arts, illustration rares, and even special illustration rares, this is driving the demand, and the collectors for Pokemon cards are now higher than ever. With the Pokemon TCG now introducing even more premium products like the Super Premium Collection, Ultra Premium Collection, Special Premium Collection, it seems like having serialized cards might not be too far off. And with Pokemon card collecting now being more popular than ever, it seems like not only card collectors who are out there ripping packs, there's also a very high number of investors who want to invest in sealed products. And having these serialized cards, I feel like the investors would come out the woodwork more so than ever. And guess what? Magic's actually been doing this for quite some time. One of the first sets that I remembered or heard about them doing the serialized concept was for Lord of the Rings, where they introduced only one card for the one ring. And that card was going for like $300,000, if I'm not mistaken. And then they started keeping that concept alive with like other sets. But with this most recent Final Fantasy set, people have been going absolutely nuts over the collector boosters. Pokemon is actually not too far off from introducing serialized cards, considering the amount of promos that they have, along with promos that are actually limited. Considering their Elite Trainer boxes that are Pokemon Center exclusive that come with a Pokemon stamped card, what's to stop them from actually numbering some of those? One of the most limited cards that came out recently was a Chinese Mew that is limited to 1,510 copies ever made, and I do applaud them for it. 151, but then they add a 0 at the very end, mainly because Mew is the 151st Pokemon. So here's an actual image of the Mew that's been provided by Pokebeach.com. Some of the most recent sold listings on eBay, this CGC 10 sold for 16 grand, and an ungraded copy goes for 9,800. This is absolutely insane. So this Mew is actually doing some crazy numbers. Just imagine if they actually numbered it. The one that's probably 151 out of the 1,510, that one would probably be so ridiculous in price, just considering the number. So I think the appeal for serialized cards will always be there. Just imagine that if Surging Sparks, the special illustration rare Pikachu, was actually numbered, or even if they had regular ones in addition to ones that were numbered, that would drive up the demand to a point where this set would become so ridiculous. Let's see if we get anything here. Magnezone, Golden Go, Ho-Oh, Blitzel, Excadrill, and Gastrodon, so nothing in this pack. And speaking of Pikachu, recently, about 6 months ago, there was an Amsterdam event collaboration with Van Gogh where they released a Van Gogh Pikachu, which was limited to around 200,000 to 400,000 copies ever made. And what if they actually numbered those cards? That would be ridiculous. I feel like the scalping or even the fighting would have gone through the roof, but then again, it would have driven up the demand so much, created so much hype. People would have FOMO'd so much. Everyone would have wanted a copy of that card. This is an image of that felt hat Van Gogh Pikachu, and it is very nice, but an ungraded copy currently goes for $350, and a PSA 10 is sitting at $842. And later, I think they went on to do the same thing in the Netherlands as well. The Van Gogh Pikachu card was absolutely beautiful, but I couldn't afford it, and I had to draw one for myself. So Pokemon's 30th anniversary is right around the corner in 2026, and in that special set, what if this is where we finally see a serialized card? However, at the end of the day, this is a trading card game that is targeted towards kids, and Pokemon's a company, and they're going to be happy as long as they're still making money. Of course, none of this is confirmed. It's mainly just speculation, but it's also not baseless. Pokemon knows what works, they know what doesn't work, they know what drives demand, they know people are FOMOing because they're not able to get products, and they also understand that they are not able to allow their supply to meet demand. And if they were to do the whole serialized concept, that would just further drive the demand, considering that if it is a serialized card, it's going to be limited in general, and not everyone's going to be able to have a numbered card. So if I were to have to bet, I would say that serialized cards is a possibility. It's definitely not inevitable, but I wonder if it's a concept that Pokemon has been exploring, and I really do want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions whether or not you think this could happen. I'm not against the idea of serialized cards. I think it's actually pretty cool, and I wouldn't mind trying to chase a serialized card. Actually haven't seen any other Pokemon content creator explore the idea of serialized cards, so I figured I might as well talk about it, and I thought it was interesting. But let me know if you guys like this concept, if you think it's bad because it might be a little bit too investor focused and then cause the hobby to go in like a different direction. But if you enjoyed this video and liked what I had to say, please hit the like button, consider subscribing for Pokemon content, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.